I'm part of the TA for the data analytics track. So this is first time meeting you guys. So I'd like to meet us, since we're few now on the group. Just introduce yourself. Just tell me your name and where exactly you got into on the track, or your career track. Let's start from Holda Imam. I'm correct.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Holda. I am in intermediate SQL. That's where I am.
All right, Holda, thank you. Jeremiah, can we hear from you? Jeremiah Kehinde.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kehinde. I'm also presently at intermediate SQL.
Okay, Jeremiah. Thank you for that. Benedict.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Benedict Bulaji. I'm currently in data manipulation in SQL.
Okay, that's amazing, Benedict. So for Holda and Jeremiah, thank you. Chitachi Michael, can we hear from you?
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I'm still at data visualization in Excel. Like I had a little bit of hiccup, so I'm trying my best to like cover up, but I know I can be able to cover up a lot to do.
Okay, that's great to hear. Shima Lawisa, correct. Sorry about that. Can we hear from you? Ashima, are you there?
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Currently joining data in SQL.
Okay, so if I'm correct, you are in data. You are introduction to SQL.
No, I'm in intermediate. I think I'm even done intermediate.
Intermediate. Okay, thank you. Messi Akubueze, sorry. Where are you exactly?
So I'm joining data in SQL.
Joining data. Okay, joining data. All right. Thank you. Foba Akom.
Good evening. I'm also in joining data.
Okay, thank you. Jamiu Ajadi. Jamiu, are you there? Okay, let's move to Joseph Solomon. Okay, Joseph Sinda, thank you. Mohammed Azam.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, nice seeing you again. So where are you currently on the track?
I'm currently in exploratory data analysis in SQL.
You're what?
Exploratory data analysis in SQL.
Can you come again? I didn't get that.
Exploratory data analysis in SQL.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Shefiat Ololade. Thank you if I'm correct. Pardon me, sorry.
Yes. Sorry, you called my name, but I just joined the call. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, all right. So we're just a quick introduction quickly. Just your name and then where exactly you are on your career track.
Okay, my name is Shefiat Ololade, and good evening, everyone. I'm currently at data manipulation in SQL. Yes.
Data manipulation in what?
In SQL. Is that what you're up to?
Thank you. I think Is there someone else who has not spoken yet? I think there is someone on the list. Let me see. Tamunotonye Kalio.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so I'm currently I just finished what do you call it? The intermediate power query in Excel. That's why I just finished.
Okay. So are you moving to SQL now?
Yeah, I'm supposed to move to SQL this evening. This night.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So is there anyone else who I might have left out? Please speak freely now. I think I have covered everyone. All right, so I'm just doing this just so that, okay, Deborah Anyanwu, I think you just joined. Can you tell us your name and where exactly you are on the career track?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am Deborah. Where am I? I can't even recall, but I'm at data manipulation, something like that.
Oh, right, data manipulation. That's good. Thank you, Deborah. Onyechi, thank you for joining the call. Can you tell us your name and where you are on the course exactly?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Onyechi, like you already said. So the thing is, I'm still on the data analysis track, but I should be done pretty soon and do the SQL part. I've actually started SQL as well. It's just that I've just been a bit busy. Like my schedule has been clashing with me doing it. So yeah.
So if I get it correctly, you are done with Excel, you meant?
Sorry?
If I get it correctly, you said you were done with data analysis track. I guess you're referring to Excel.
No, not Excel. Well, okay, yeah, it's still Excel related, but yeah, I'm almost done with the data analysis track. I've done the Excel fundamentals, yes, but like I mean the data analysis track itself. I'm on the last one, right? The last module, yeah.
Data analysis track, they are under different categories. So
Okay.
as holistically, we have it in three
Yeah.
phases. So the Excel part, the SQL part, the Python part.
Oh, I haven't done the SQL part yet. I've started it, but I haven't finished it.
Okay, we can't remember exactly where you are on it.
I can't remember where exactly I am.
So I'll make a safe assumption and assume that you are in introduction to Excel or intermediate Excel.
Intermediate.
Intermediate. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so let's just kick off. So today, we're going to be exploring data analysis practically, and we're going to be utilizing Data Lab. How many of us are familiar with Data Lab? Just to kind of give an emoji. Okay, Benedict 1. Terminal 2. Just 2 people. Amazing. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So, let me share my screen so that you can see what is happening on my end here. Hold on, please. Okay. It's in fact has done that too. No. Yeah. All right. So I have shared my screen. All right, please hold on. I don't know why this guy is so slow today. Please. Okay, so Data Lab is that interface of DataCamp that gives you the let's say environment where you're able to practice your analytical skills. So you're able to practice working with data, right? So everything you've seen, for those of us that have worked on, the data analysis in SQL, this interface, no, okay, let me make that segment. So now, people like Holda, Jeremiah, Benedict, Mercy, and the rest, you find out that while you are working on your subject topics, right? Everything you are doing is within the interface of the videos, right? After the video, then another page shows that you can do stuff there, but you can't really practice something new, right? Sometimes you would have even found out that if you try to write a code that would produce the same results, but it was different from the way they intended you to write that same code, it will reject your answer, right? So here is the place where you get to work, right? Here's the place where you get to practice using data. So now this is data lab. How do we get here? That's the first thing. Point number one. How do I get here? All I have to do is to open a new tab while my data analytics is signed in, right? Here, my data lab, I'm signed into DataCamp rather here, right? All I have to do is open a new tab and press and type datacamp.com/data lab. Bingo, that's all, right? And so when I press enter, it's going to load up this page that we're going to see in a moment. Sorry that my system is taking forever. I don't know what's wrong with it today. So it's going to load up this page, or let me just go back to the one that's going to load up something like this, right? So this is the interface of Data Lab. Here is a workbook. This entire space you see is a workbook, right? So before I continue, let me ask, is there any question thus far? Any question thus far? Trying to see message. Okay, so I'll take that as a no. All right. So let's go back. So you automatically you're going to get some documents or workbook or data sets in here. This is because of the community you are in, right? So you're going to have access to project data, right? Like global analytics. So you can create your own workbooks here. You see that I have different workbooks here, right? So if I want to create a new workbook, all I have to do is come here and click on new workbook. Once I click on new workbook, it's going to open up a new interface that's just going to be totally blank, right? Okay. Sorry about this. I don't know why this is doing this today. So going to be totally blank, and then all I have to do next is to select. So I'm going to delete this so that you see how it's going to look like. I'm going to delete this. Okay, so you're going to see this like this. This is how you're going to see a new workbook. So when I click on new workbook, it's going to pop this interface up, right? So this is a blank canvas. Now, here carries the name of the workbook. I can change this and give it a new name, whatever I so desire, right? So let's call this, let's call it first workbook practice, right? First workbook practice, save. So once I do that, the name of my workbook has been changed here. It's also going to be changed here, right? So this interface is an interface that can allow you work with AI, work with your data directly with no code, SQL, Python, and just plain text. What we're interested in right now is SQL, right? So all I have to do is click on SQL. So when I click on SQL, what will automatically happen is you're going to see something like this. Now let me show you because this is already loaded. Okay. So let me click on SQL here. It's still bringing up. Okay, let me remove this. And then remove that. Okay. So when you open your resource, you are not going to see this index you're seeing here, right? What you're going to see is data source and upload, right? You're going to see a blank canvas, just the way you're seeing this one here, right? You won't see this guy. Let me just delete it. Pardon me, I'm taking this over. I don't want us to be delayed by my system that is acting up right now. So you're just going to see data source and upload file, right? Now you can upload a CSV file. You can upload a .txt file. You can upload a .xlsx file, right? So CSV file is just comma separated values, and that means just imagine an Excel sheet, right, that has been converted to text that are just separated by commas. But the system is able to, when receiving that CSV file, is able to convert it back into rows and columns, right? That's what simply a CSV file is. I can't really go to the process of showing you how a CSV file looks like on raw data, but that's just what it is. It's comma separated values. Then TXT definitely is text. Then XLX is Excel, right? So this one comes with the rows and columns embedded into it and everything like that, right? So what do I want to do next from here? Or let me pause and ask a question. Any question thus far? I'm going to share that particular screen, so this thing might stop hanging. Sorry about that. Any questions thus far?
No question, Emmanuel.
All right. I'm trying to share just that tab so that we stop having issues on that. Okay. Share. Oh. Okay. Sorry, just give me a moment. Okay, so now we are here, right? So like I said, the next thing is to import your data, the data you want to work with. So you must have downloaded the data onto your device, or your data is on your Google Drive or somewhere. I'm going to show you the different options to use, but I'm not going to pay much attention to that because what we're trying to do here today is analyze data. So just because of today, I'm just going to go through the upload routes than the data source route, right? So upload routes is that the data is on your system and you want to upload it into the database, right? So that you can work with it. So you click on upload file and your window is going to open up. And then you select the file in the location or where it is located at. So mine is in desktop and it's here. So this is the file we want to work with, right? So I click open. Now I can also decide to rename the file if I want. So let's rename it. So let's call this first file. First file .csv, right? Is there a question?
Is it just me, or I cannot see what you're doing? Like it's as though your screen is frozen, or is it my network?
It's not coding. It's only sharing this particular screen, this data lab. It's not sharing the whole screen.
Right.
Is
I
that
can't see it too.
No,
oh,
no problem. I understand what you're saying.
okay? Hold on, please. Let me confirm that. So you're saying you're not seeing my data lab screen on your
No,
end?
no, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. It's just she clarified that you're sharing just the data lab tab, not every other thing.
Oh
So
yes. I'm not sharing my entire window. That's why you're not seeing what I'm. Okay, sorry about that. But I'm trying because my system is acting up right now, so I don't want to give it a lot of work so that everything can move smoothly. That's the reason. So what I'm doing currently is that I'm trying to upload a file. So you saw up to the point where I clicked on upload, right?
yes.
Okay, good. So what will happen next is that your window is going to open like normally upload, right? Normally you upload the documents onto the website. So the window is going to open, you click on the file and then click upload. What was just taking time is I was changing the name of the file to something else. That was just the difference. So I changed the name to first file, right? So now when you come here, remember that what was on my own interface was index_1, and I already uploaded a file called first file, but it's not going to show automatically. So I have to come to select data source and then click on the file itself. Now, because I myself have a lot of data I have worked with, it's coming. You when you upload your own, you might see it at once, right? Just right there. But it's not going to show. So you'll just search for it here. So I click on first file. First. Oh, that's it there. You see that? So I click on select, and it's going to automatically upload that file here. Right now, the reason why the content of the file did not change is because I just re-uploaded the same thing, or I only gave it a separate name. So it's just going to repeat itself. So now this is our data set, right? Now, if you were using some, what's this called now? Notebook, because this whole platform that is hosting this SQL, let me call it server or database, you can call it a notebook, right? So notebook, you might just upload your file, right? And it's not going to automatically fill in codes like this. You are the one that's going to have to type in this. This is just an AI implementation. Do you get that? So it's an AI implementation that makes that happen. So all this you are seeing here is AI. I didn't type that there, right? So now we have our data, and the next thing to do with any data given to you is to view the nature of the data you have, right? Now, because of where we are starting from, I'm just going to keep everything simple, right? So rows and columns, right? So rows and columns, and then we have now ignore this index, right? So we have the dates, we have the time, we have the cash type, we have a column called cards, money, and coffee name, right? Now, if your data had more columns than this, there would be a slider bar down here that would move left or right to let you know or to indicate that there are more columns to the right of your view, right? So this is our data, simple and short. So we are going to be attempting different concepts on this data so that we're able to kind of refresh what we've done thus far. Now, I don't want this to be I want it to be an interactive session, right? So we're going to start with simple codes, right? And everyone is going to be involved in this. So I'm going to clear up this, and I'm going to be calling names based off my list here. Now, please, I'm not calling names to, this is a classroom, right? This is a practice area. So I'm not calling names to like sports, whether you know it or not, per se, just calling it to get us all involved and let's see how well we can solve this together as a team, right? So, first person on my list is going to be Mercy, right? Is Mercy still on the call? Yes, Mercy is here. So, Mercy, you can see from your screen. Can you see the screen first of all? Let me confirm that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. So, Mercy, first thing we're doing is very simple, very, very simple. Selecting data. So, Mercy, if I were to select the table column, the cash type column, and the money column, how would I go about doing that?
Okay, so you're going to write the keyword select.
Keyword
Then
select.
you write
Right.
yes. Then
So
you
what?
write money,
Money. Okay.
comma.
Right.
Then so I didn't get all the names you said actually.
Okay. So I said date, card,
Date, card,
card type, date, card type,
card
and
type.
money. Yes.
Okay, sir. So you're going to write select,
Okay.
date, card type, and money. Then
Okay.
you're not
So
going to put another comma,
all right. So date,
comma,
all right.
cash type.
Cash type. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to try something. Cash type. All right.
No, cash underscore type.
All right. Cash underscore type. Okay.
Then comma money.
Then comma money. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Who is here? Please, Deborah, are you still on the call? Deborah. Did I call Deborah before? Okay, yes, Deborah, this time manipulation. Yes, Deborah is on the call. Yes, Deborah. Do you agree with what she has said? What Mercy has said?
Sir, yes.
Okay,
Sir,
so what do we do?
Yes.
My what?
I cannot see well. I cannot see well, but it's not coming from you. I think my network, but I can't see very well. It's blue. I don't know if I'm the only one.
Okay, let me try something.
Okay, Sarah.
Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So, yes. So what you said is correct. So what do we do next?
From.
Okay. So from. All right. What happens next?
Sir, please, what's your data set? What's the name of your data set?
Okay, so my data set is here. Can you see that guy there? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
So what do I do next?
So I'm not sure. From first file.
From first file. Okay. So how do I write my first file? Is it first file like this? Is it like that? Like this?
No.
Okay, so how is it supposed to?
First another score, then file.
All right, first underscore file. Okay. So
So,
thank you so much. Jeremiah, is it Jeremiah, right? Yes. Are you here?
Jeremiah, can you write?
Jeremiah, yes. Jeremiah can do. Thank you.
All right.
Yes. So do you agree where we are so far?
Yes, you're on the right track.
Okay. On the right track. Thank you. So if we were to show only 15 records of this data we are querying,
Okay.
what to do next?
We'll go to the next tab and put limit to 15.
Okay, so you press enter according to you and put in limits.
15.
Okay. Limit 15. Okay. So before I press run, a recap of what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to select this row, sorry, this column, and this column. Column date, column cash type, and column money. And then we are limiting it to only 15 records of those columns, right? So here is the result of what we just did. So I'm going to run it. And that should give us, just loading. So our code brought back an error and said does not exist. Do we know why? Yes. Yes, Holda.
So you did not click on the CSV file. So when you typed out first underscore file, it brought a drop down. You're supposed to click on it. It did not say that you should click on it because it just came out as sort of like a text. So that's why it's showing that it does not exist, because you're supposed to like click on the table because it's a table you're trying to reference. Because that is, yes, just click on the first table.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to run our code again, all right? Voila. Simple. So did anyone have any questions thus far? Okay, so I take that as everyone understands where we are, right? So this is how simple select statements, right? And for those of us that are still in Excel, this is a simple Excel statement, simple select statement for SQL, right? That's just simply what it is. So I'll just give you a quick breakdown of what we just did. So in the simplest form, right, you are saying that I want to select the column called date, I want to select the column called cash type, and the column called money from a table that is called first file, right? And I want only 15 records from the result that is returned. That's what this means. So SQL is structured query language. It means that I am querying something in a particular structure. That's just simply what it is. So that's just how everything is a thought process to how SQL works. And along the line, just keep learning it and how to think in it. Let me say how to think in SQL, right? So that's simply what this is. So we're going to move on to other things. Now, I'm going to create another row so that we get to see the files, sorry, our columns and our rows. Hold on, please. You can ask the right question because the next thing we want to do is called filtering. So filtering data, right? So I'm just going to select all, right, from first file, that's CSV, right? And next is
How did you go to the next stuff. I did not see that. I missed it. Sorry.
Okay, so at when you place your cursor under any display like this is our result. It's going to show you a plus sign that says add content. If it's down here, it's going to show you add content. Sometimes it's not going to show up like this. It's going to show up like in a box. So I click on add content, for example, like this. And see add content. Sometimes it's show you add content like this. So all you have to do is click on it, and this drop down comes up. You click on SQL, then you have this our interface that you're saying. Simple. So I'm going to do it again so that you see it. So is it that I click here, right? And it's going to give me this. And when I click this, I'm going to just click on SQL, right? SQL. And it's going to give me another one. So I'll just scroll down to see it. So that's it. There's a new one I just created now. Do you get that?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So next is limit. I'm just going to limit it to 5. That's because you just want to see want to work with the. Okay, so Control Enter. That should run it. All right. So now you see the slider, right? Because I increased the size of the display on my Chrome window. So you see that some parts are hiding. So it's going to always be like that. So now we have coffee name, we have money, we have cash type, we have dates, we have date time, right? Let's assume I want to get all the records, or we want to get all the records where we know that all the records where coffee name is Latin. So I'm going to put that in context of our data, right? So this data, from the looks of this data, we can make a safe assumption that this is a data for a payment at let's say a coffee shop, right? So we see that it has a date, it has a date time, it has cash type, it has card, it has money, and it has coffee name. So it's a coffee shop, and this is like their records of their sales record, right? So let's assume that the instruction that, or what we're trying to analyze here, is to find out the money that has been spent, right, for latte on this data set, right? So I'm going to call on Shefiat, if I'm correct. Pardon me if I'm mixing this up. Shefiat, right?
Sorry, Shefiat.
Shefiat, oh my God. Sorry, pardon me. Shefiat, yes, I'll make that mistake again. Yes, so what do we do with our previous data sets? What do we do? I'm going to scroll up so that see the previous one. So this is the previous data set. Sorry, previous query. Previous query. What do we do to this query in order to bring the results wherein it's for latte?
Okay. We'll just include
please hold on, that everyone can see. So one other thing is, if I want to hide the output, I click here, and the output is hidden, so I can easily see the next cell. This place where I type in my code is called a cell, right? So now, this is, I'm doing this like that, columns, right? So now what do we do, Sherifa?
Yes. It's all right. Sorry, to understand you better, I really need the first one.
The first one, yes, where my cursor is. Where my cursor
okay,
is.
the first one, we are checking dates, cash type, and money. But where the coffee type is now, let's say, all right. After the from,
okay,
we would click enter.
Enter, right?
And
okay,
where we use the where function, where.
Okay. The where clause.
Yes, where clause. Coffee latte. Sorry, where coffee type. Coffee item type.
Coffee hyphen type. Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Let me check this. Can I check the code? Okay, yes. Coffee name. Sorry. Coffee hyphen name. I just saw it. Sorry.
All right.
Coffee hyphen name is equal to
Coffee is equal to
hyphen name is or it's equal to then the type that we want, which is latte in quotes.
latte in what?
In single quotes. Latte
In single
quotes.
quotes. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So all I have to do is click that once and just to them and latte. Right? So this is
Yes, let's try.
So let's try it. Let's run that.
Are we still limiting to 15?
Yes, just now.
All right, sir.
So sorry. My output is hidden, so I have to view it. So hidden output, I click on the word hidden output under my cell. And when I click that, the result is going to show. So this, right? This is our new results. Now the question is, this is looking like is the same thing. How are we sure that this is a new result? So, Holda, can you tell us what to do next? That this is a new result.
Sorry, still me or another person?
Yes, Holda. Thank you, Shefiat.
My pleasure, sir.
Okay. Holda, are you there? Okay, so let's call on I'm seeing some new names in our list. Okay, but let's work with our list first. Foba Akom, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. So what do we do to prove that this code actually worked? Because now it's looking very similar to the previous code. Sorry, the previous result. What do we do to our code?
Just okay. What do we do to our code to see if it's different from the
To
first
see,
one?
yes, to prove to the person, like let's say to prove to our client now, to prove to the client that this result is actually for the coffee name latte.
Oh, okay. We could select the coffee name latte column, so we see that all the records have latte.
So do we select it separate from this? Do we write an entire new code, or what do we do exactly?
In the select statement after money, we put a comma, then we input coffee name, coffee underscore name.
Okay, so according to Foba, after money, we type comma, and we type in the word coffee underscore name. Right?
Yes.
My
Yes.
coffee is a set of coffees. Okay. Right? So let's try that and see.
Coffee underscore name.
Underscore name, yes. I've run that. Voila. Now we are sure. Or now our data can speak for itself. Our results can speak for itself that this is actually the query results for the coffee name latte. Simple? Did we get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So some people have run from my meeting. Where are they? Asichi Lawal, can't find you. Who else? Onyechi, I'm still not sure. Oh, I'm seeing some old faces. All right. Onyechi said intro and intermediates. Okay, Onyechi, let's try it. Next thing we want to do. Onyechi, are you there? Onyechi, are you with us on the call? Okay, Onyechi is not on the call. I think that. Solomon Joseph, welcome to the call. Can you unmute your mic? Solomon, hello. Okay. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to keep working with. Okay, let's try.
Hello, sir. I said I'm in a noisy environment. That is why I could not talk.
Oh, okay. I remember now. Thank you, Solomon, for clearing that up. Okay, so let's Musa Shuabi, if I'm correct, pardon me. Can you unmute your mic? Musa is not here. All right. So let's just work with.
Hello, sir.
Pardon. Are you there, Musa? Okay, that's good.
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm sorry, seriously, I can't participate. So I'm here to seek for your indulgence. Maybe after the class, I can be able to have one-on-one conversation with you, sir.
Okay, is it an environment thing?
Sir?
Is it environment? Is it where you are that you can't speak where you are?
No, sir.
All right.
I have personal challenges, so that's my not speak like to speak here.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, Musa. Thank you. Iyiola Grace. Somehow your name is very familiar, Iyiola. Where are you currently on the track? We have to move very fastly, but I want to carry everybody along. I don't want to do it solely. Iyiola, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. On your career track, where have you gotten to?
I'm still on Postgres, SQL, summary, yeah.
Summary?
Yeah, like the last part, the last chapter.
The last chapter or the last course?
Yes, of that
the last
course.
Yes, that's wonderful. Now you've gone over, actually. So, yes. So that means this is going to be work in the park for you. So what we want to do next, right, is now our customer or our client wants to know how much, right? So we're moving to something called aggregate functions, right? So they want to know how much money came in for latte coffee. Now we've thus far written a code or a query that shows us the date column, the cash type, the money, and the coffee column, right? Now we want to know how much money. We don't want $38.7, $30.7, $40. No, we want to know the sum of everything. What do we do? Did you get that, Iyiola?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that it was a question to me. I just joined the poll not quite long.
Amazing. Okay, so we all did this together. We all got to this point. So all we're doing is we had the data, right?
Yeah.
And we added the data to this workbook, and then we started querying data. So we're in another phase of querying now. So we've gotten the date column, the cash type column, and the money column.
Yes.
The next thing that we did is that we filtered the data so that we only have the result for latte.
Yeah.
We only have the result for latte coffee, right? And if I'm speaking in context, that means that we only have the results of latte coffee purchases. Do you get?
Yes, I get that.
So now we now had another problem. Our data was just looking exactly the same as the previous query that we didn't filter for latte. So we had to prove via the results that this data is for latte coffee. And we did that by adding coffee name to our select statement, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now the next thing we want to do is to have a summation that's adding everything of the money column. I'm even giving a spoon now. We want to start get the summation of how much in total was spent on latte coffee.
Okay.
Yes. We're not interested. Let me now make it more specific. We're not interested in how the payment was made. Neither are we interested in the dates of the payment. What we're interested in now is just how much was spent on latte coffee.
Okay. We have to include the sum aggregate for money and alias as something.
Okay, so we have to speak that in a very simple way because some people are just finishing Excel, right?
So after
this is our data we're working with. What do we do? Query.
So include the sum aggregate, which is sum money after
where do we do that?
You said?
Where do we do that? Where do we include that?
After the coffee name, comma.
After coffee name. Okay.
Yes.
Comma.
So like you can either like press enter just to not make it long.
Okay.
Some money.
Some.
Yes, and bracket money.
In bracket, okay. Money.
Yes.
Okay. Then what next?
Then as.
So for those of us that just finished Excel, when you create an aggregate function, it's always advisable to put an alias. An alias just means like let's say a temporary name, just for your display purposes, like a nickname, right? So that's what the as function does. So next, continue please.
Total underscore money.
Total underscore money, right?
Yes.
So what do we do next?
So yeah, that's it.
You sure?
I'm coming from file as.
Remember, we do not need the dates. We don't need.
Okay, we can remove the date. Yes, we can remove the cash type. So it's going to select money, comma coffee. Okay, yeah.
Now,
the money.
I have reservation about our code. 2 reservations about the code currently, but we're going to run it before I make a conclusion so that we learn in the process, right?
Okay.
Thank you so much. So let's see what our code is going to return to us. The code is saying binder error, column money must appear in group by clause, right? I'm on part of an assumption. Okay. So what do we do from here? Deborah, thank you.
Okay, sir, thank you. I think when we are using aggregate function, it goes with a group. So we're to yes, it goes with a group by function.
Okay.
That's
so how do we do
when we are
that?
using sum or average. You insert group by, that's after the latte. Can
After
add
the
group the name, yes, the coffee name, group by money.
Group by money. Okay. All right. What next? Is that all? Or
that's all I know for now.
okay. So we're learning together, right? So instead of me just telling you what is going to happen, I'll just let you see it so then we can correct it, because it's better to stumble upon an error and then correct it. So now errors coming and saying coffee name must appear in the group by clause or be part of an aggregate function, right? So what do we do next? Who knows what we'll do next? Foba.
I think we should. Okay, I think we should take out the money column name from select. So since all we want to know is the total cost spent on latte, we could take out money from select. So we have anyway, select some money as total money from first file.csv where copy name equals to latte group by money. It should be fine if we just want the latte cost. But to confirm, we could also still put copy name. Then in the group by statement, we include copy name.
Okay. So thank you, Foba. So according to what Foba said, we are to take out that column and then change this to coffee name, right? Coffee name, right? And then this should give us how much was spent on the coffee called latte, right? So I am going to run that and we'll see. So we have our results. And so it comes saying latte, coffee name latte, total money, that is going to be 27,866 of whatever currency that is, right? So do you understand thus far? Now, the initial idea that Foba brought up, which was to take up coffee name totally and just have some money as total money, where coffee name is latte, what that would return to you is just a column called total money, and then that's so when you're looking at that data, you just see this, part, right? Total money, and that's what you see. You won't see coffee name or latte, right? So this one is more explanatory. Do we understand? Who doesn't understand what just happened?
I understand, but I have a question, sir.
Okay, please.
The change. Do we still have to limit our query? Do we only want to calculate the first exchange record in the data set?
Can you come again, please?
Like, I was asking if this limit to change is still necessary since you want to calculate the total money for all the latte. I mean, this current one now, is it only calculating the total money that was spent on the first exchange order of latte coffee?
That's a good question. So in order to answer your question, why don't you just test it out, right? So if we take now, what is the idea of a limit function, of a limit clause, right? A limit clause is limiting the total number of rows returned. That's what a limit clause does, right? So it's going to limit the result to certain number or the stipulated number of rows. So, but to test that theory, because we are writing codes, right? We take off this limit function and see what happens. So remember, our value is 27,866. So we run it again without the limit function in the code. So this guy is going to spin on, fade off, and then come back with the results. 27,866. And now we have a result. Same results, right? 27,866. So we see that it did not change. Why? Because the limit function does not tell your query what to calculate on. No, It's only limiting the results shown, the outputs, right? It does not affect the aggregate functions, the calculations, whatever it is. That's not its job, right? Thank you. So next thing that we'll just quickly brush up on. Okay, so next part of our, please give me a moment, let me confirm what I'd like us to see next. Okay, now let's assume that we want to go by what I can't remember her name now, but the kind of code she gave us before, wherein we had other information. So let's do this, right? So let's assume I have a column called dates and a column called cash type. Cash type, right? Cash type, coffee name, and then we have an aggregate function called sum money as total money, right? Yes. Now, what do I do to my group by clause to make this thing come out correctly? To make the results come out correctly. Let me see, hold on. I have someone in mind. My scanning eyes. Okay, Mohammed. What do we do to this query, to this group by clause, to ensure that it does not return an error? Because if I run this, it's going to return an error. Do you know? Or are you with us or not with us? Okay, I'll take that as it's not currently on the call. Ogunleye Seyi, hello. So what do we do to our group by clause?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Okay, so this query we ran before was a query to show the total amount spent for latte, right? And that query carried the what's it called now? That query carried the let's say query keywords, coffee name in select statement, and then the aggregate summation of money as total money. Now I've done something else to the query. I have added dates, right? I have added cash type. But if I run this code the way it is now, it's going to return an error. So I'm asking that what do I do, or what do we do to this group by clause in order for it not to run into an error? Do you have an idea?
I think I've not gotten to group by yet, but I think maybe you can add cash type to the group by clause also.
Okay, so we have coffee name here and coffee name exists here. So now you are saying we should add cash type also. So cash type. Cash type. Is that all we'd have to add?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have an, let's say, objection to this code that is down here, to this query?
Sorry to
Correct.
draw you back, but I didn't get your question. Can you do us again, please?
Okay. So what I was saying was, we already ran this query here, right? The query that brought us the result of the total money spent on latte coffee in this coffee shop, right? Based on the records they gave us, based on the data they gave us, right? But now what I've done is that I've added dates to our select statement, and I've added cache type to our select statement. But I know that if I click on run, right, it's going to return an error. And that error is going to happen in this group by clause. So the question was, what do I do to my group by clause so that the query does not return an error? And so Ogunleye Seyi helped us out with adding the cache type column, inclusive to the coffee name that already existed there. So my question was now, is that enough? Should we run it like that, or is there something else that needs to be done?
Okay, I think there is something that needs to be done because I think the total money now, the total money column will have more than one field as soon as you put cash type, right? So we can just order by and put either cash type or coffee name, anyone that we want anyhow we want to order it. Either we want to show the latte first or order coffee name type first. We can order by coffee name, but we sure cannot order by the same column in the group by.
Okay. You cannot order by the same column in the group by. Okay, that's quite new to me. So let's see. Foba, you have something to say?
Yeah, I think we should adopt this column as well to the group by clause.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to add the date column to the group by clause, right? Sorry, that's in all caps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And okay, so according to Shefiat, we should also order, right? We should also order our results. So let's order by total money, right? So let's order by total money. Total underscore money, right? And we do that in ascending order. So descending. Descending is going to be better. Right? So we're going to try and see what happens. All right. So we run that. And let's see if our code will run or runs an error. Chioma.
Sir, I was. Oh, okay.
Want to say something?
No, I was thinking because I don't know if we could group by 3 different fields. So I thought maybe we could only group by 1.
No, we can group by multiple fields. It depends on what is in our select statement. That was the whole idea of me doing this, because if you don't group by the number of single columns in your select statement, where you have an aggregate statement, aggregate function in your select statement, you're going to run into an error. And that's what happened initially when we were trying to display the coffee name and the total money, right? Because what happened was we had the date column and the cache type there. And so we keep running it. It keeps telling you that this statement is supposed to be in the group by clause, stuff like that, right? So you can reference multiple multiple columns in your group.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, so now, okay, I think I see a hand, Shefiat.
All right, so I wanted to ask, you mentioned something, but I didn't get it right. Do you mean when we are grouping by a particular column, we have to include all the columns we put in our select?
Okay. Yes. Now, when there is an aggregate function in your select statement, and when let me put it this way: when your select statement has a single column that is being selected, and an aggregate function. In your group by clause, your group by clause must contain all the single columns. So if, like now, our columns have our select statement has date, cache type, and coffee name. Those are single columns. Those are names of columns, right? I just call them single columns because they're just straightforward, right? Name of columns. So your group by must have all that in it. Do you understand? So if our select statement had date, cache type, and then sum of money, but it didn't have coffee name, we don't need to put coffee name in our group by, right? So that's how it works. So even if the select statement has tons and tons and tons, now also, if we also have two or more aggregate functions, that means we have, let's say we have some money, we have average money spent, right? You just still do the same thing. You just group by the single columns, the name of single columns in that statement, and then that's all. Do you understand? Any questions? Any question?
I think I still have one question, but to understand my own question is kind of confusing me. I was hoping that what you have in our results is a record of the date, the past, the date, okay, not this thing, sorry. But then I was hoping that we'll have in the company the total amount for, let's say, the total amount for the other type, and also in the past type, the total amount for where it is carried and let's say where it is I don't know if there's another type of field inside the past type and another type of company. I don't know if you understand.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. That is because our query is filtered to coffee name latte. That's why it's like that. So if we take off this, I should have said that. I should have asked. Sorry, my bad. I should have asked. But if we take off this coffee, this filter here, what happens then? And let's take it off and let's see what happens. So we're going to take off this clause in its entirety. We're also going to take off these two select statements here, these two columns that have been selected. We're just leaving coffee name, right? Now, we are also going to take this off because we don't need it. That's the date in the group by and the cache type in the group by, right? So now we have this left. So what we do is run. Now watch what's going to happen. And that's what I'm going to explain next, but now the question came up, let me just treat it like that. Okay, Deborah, welcome. You see that?
Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
Okay. So what just happened is so I'm just going to try to break it down. So we queried our data for some value of the entire money spent. But now we also said categorize this submission by the coffee name, right? In context, we can also say the coffee type, because their type of coffee, latte, Americano with milk, cappuccino, Americano, hot chocolate, right? So coffee type, let's put it that way. But in our data set, it is called coffee name, right? So we are trying to query the total money spent now for each coffee type. So your select statement carries coffee name and the submission of the money spent. And then that's what the group by means. That's what it implies. It implies group by coffee name. So it's going to pick the distinct value in your data for that column, and then associate the aggregate. Our aggregate here is what? Sum to that distinct value. So what that means is if I had in a data, I had the word, let's say I had the word Coca-Cola, Fanta, Heineken, and let's say Sprite. but I had them repeating each other all over the data, right? Let's say for 500 rows, same words but multiple appearances, right, all over the place. And then I have an aggregate function to count, right, how many there are, which I think we should do next. What will happen is that it's going to take the distinct value in the column that is in your group by, because I am grouping by that value. So it's going to take the distinct value. So it's going to have Coca-Cola, Sprite, Heineken, Fanta, right? And then begin to apply the aggregates as many times as it appears in relation to each of those values. So what we have here, let me show you something. What we have here, for example, if you scroll down, so now you can see from here that we have latte, hot chocolate, Americano, latte, right? We also have, for this latte, we have 38.7. We have 28.9 for Americano, 38.7 for hot chocolate, 38.7 hot chocolate, 30.7 for latte here, right? So what the group by clause does is when we group by coffee name, it selects latte, hot chocolate, Americano, and then that's all. Like for this one, we limited now to 5. That's what it does, right? Although remember I said that our limit does not affect how it runs the code, it just affects the display. But let's assume that our actual data, this is how it entirety looks like, right? So it's now going to add, so it's going to say, okay, for hot chocolate, what is the aggregate for money for hot chocolate all across my data? So I have 38.7. 38.7 is going to add them together and then say hot chocolate is equals to this. Do you get that? And then it's going to come to latte, a distinct value, right? And say how many times, or for rather, we did summation, which is adding. So it's going to look for all the times money, a value is present, right? For money where latte existed, and it's going to add them together. That's how the group by functions. So that also means that in practicality, the code we wrote before that had dates, cash type, coffee name, and then total money spent is not practical, right? Except we want to categorize by the days. So that means in our data, let me just undo so you see what I'm saying. So just I'm speaking from the air. So you're actually seeing what is happening. So this is, let me just remove this one. Let me remove this one. Let's see what happens, right? So I'm going to run that so that we see what comes up. So now, so we have this data like this. Now this looks like, but you said distinct value, but coffee is repeating itself. Why? Why is coffee name showing Americano twice, latte 4 times, Americano once, Americano milk again? You get Americano milk is here, Americano milk is here twice. Why is that happening? That is because the group by clause also operates on hierarchy. In our group by clause, the first thing we put was dates. So on the 23rd of May, if you can see it here, let me use the annotation so that what I'm saying you can see. Yeah, okay. So you see this date here, right? On the 23rd of May, 2014, only one purchase was made, right? And that purchase was made with card, and it was a cappuccino. And the total money of cappuccino made on that day was $339.46 pounds, whatever it is, right? Or naira. You get the next one that appeared is 30th of July. Now our data does not carry repeated dates, at least from what I see here, right? Because if it carried repeated dates, I would have been able to show you better what I'm talking about. So now But let's just follow me. You see, we get the point. So we have 23rd of May, and then we have, and this was what was purchased on that date, and this is total money, right? The next thing we have is 30th of July, Americano milk purchased on this date. But let's assume, let's just play a game of pretend, right? And let's assume that from index 0, let me use the annotation so that we can see it properly. From index 0 to index 5, let's make an assumption, carry the same dates, right? That all these dates are the same from index 0 to index 5. Let's assume that they are the same date. What is going to happen is that because our group by clause, let me scroll up a bit so that we see. Okay, so yes, it's still in view. So because our group by clause started with a date, it is going to pick the distinct dates, and then next thing is going to pick the distinct cash type. So that means if there was an actual data that carried the word cash and not card, right? So we're going to have card and cash in our data. I wish to, let me see what I can do. Okay, let me do this. Let me do so that I am not speaking into the air. So I'm going to create a new, and I'm just going to do a text. Okay, so let's make an assumption that we have a date called, because if you understand what this is, then in the future you never have issues with these fundamentals anymore, right? So let's assume that we have a date type called let's just give it 2024, right? And then 2024 May 23rd. We're going to use the example that we have in our data set. Let's assume that what we are looking at is a result. Okay, whose hand is up? Okay, I thought I saw someone hand up. All right, so okay, let's see, his hand is up. Mercy, okay.
So I don't understand. I'm kind of
okay, Mercy. I'm trying to make you understand why this data is showing the way it is showing, so that when you are working with data sets, you don't have issues understanding why your group by is working the way it is working. The only problem is that this particular data we have, I didn't foresee this particular will I say this particular problem we're trying to solve now. If not, our data would have carried that nuance. We're able to tackle this problem. But I'm just trying to create a scenario so that you understand how a group by works when you are grouping by multiple columns. Do you get the intention?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, before now, I made a statement and I said that your group by will pick distinct values, right? But when we ran our previous code, you can look at the coffee name and you are seeing repeated values, and it can be confusing for some people. I know that some people already on the call understand what is happening here, right? But you can see repeated values, and it's like, oh, but that is contradicting the idea of distinct values. So I'm trying to make you understand how a group by works. So I'm using a text where I'm able to type. So I'm just going to type a narrative so that you can see how a group by would work. Do you get that, Tosfa? Do you get that, Messi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let's assume that this is called dates, and this is called let's say, like we have here, cash type. Okay, sorry. That cursor is flying. Okay, let me just put that here. Okay, so let's assume we have cash type, and then next thing on our is going to be coffee name, and next we're going to have is going to be total money, right? We're just creating a simple visual. So now I was giving an example that based on our data, what we have here is the cash type cards, right? But let's make something a bit more dramatic. Let's assume that our own data had cash and card in the cash type, right? So now let's assume that we ran this query to get the sum of money spent on each of the coffee type. And then we are also categorizing it or grouping it by the card or cash payment on what dates, right? Because that's what this code means. Because we are grouping it first by the date, then next by the cash type, then next by the coffee name. That's what this means. So what you are going to have as a result of that is we're going to take the card approach first. You get that? So what's going to happen is you're going to see on your results, you're going to see something like card, right? And then next you're going to see is the coffee name distinct. So let me type that there. Chino, right? And then let's just give it a random value. So let's just say 564. Right? So I'm going to take all this. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to press enter and paste it. Okay, it already enumerated that for me. That's wonderful. So I'm just going to remove that guy. Okay, but instead of this here, what we're going to have is latte. And latte, let's assume, is more expensive than cappuccino. So this is it's not based on expensive, based on number of repetition. So let's assume that the value for this guy is, let's say, 800. All right, 800, right? So the same thing is going to happen. It doesn't even matter. I've already copied it, so there's no point going back there again. Just enter and paste. Right? And next thing is now going to be, I'll just say AM, mean Americano, which, okay, let me just even copy and paste it. Okay. Don't know why that didn't work. Okay. All right. So you can see that. So you see that the date is repeated, the card type is repeated, but the coffee name changes, right? Who understands where I am currently? Who doesn't understand where I am currently, rather?
I don't understand.
Amazing. So we run a code. I'm trying to let you understand, see how this works. So our database is going to show the dates distinct. You see that the date is repeating itself, right? You see that, Shefiat?
Sir?
Do you see that the date is repeated?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you see that the cash type is repeated?
Yes. Card.
This is the copy name change.
Yes.
Okay, so in practical reality, what that means is that, okay, Blessing, just listen. What that means is that on the 23rd of May, 2024, with third payment, we sold cappuccino worth 564. Let's we sold latte, $30. We sold Americano milk, $564. Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what I just said. Okay, so I'm also going to do something else to our data. I'm going to add another rule and make a change, and so you see what happens to the data. Okay, why is that one not working now? After when I needed it to work, it didn't work. Okay, so copy, and I'll just paste that there. Monica, not now. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so paste. And so I'm going to change this back to cappuccino, right? But our cash payment, our card type or cash type is going to be cash. Right? Sorry, my system is having a emotional session right now. Okay. Right. And the value for this cappuccino that was sold on that same day, but with cash, was 400. Do we get what we are saying? Who does not understand thus far?
I understand now. I think my confusion was I was ready for like 10 minutes to go and pray. So I thought of this in this new I don't know what you call it at that time. The table. I couldn't see the query, so I thought it was the query, but now I think it's a table.
Okay. So what I was trying to show you is how group by works, right? So when you have multiple columns highlighted in your group by clause, this is how group by will approach that instruction. Because I'm telling it, query by dates first, then query by cash type, then query by the coffee name. That's what it means. So it's going to go by the dates, and it's going to select the dates, distinct dates, and then begin to work on all the datas under that date. So there's the cash type, right? So there's a cash type. Please, Solomon, I'm coming. There's a cash type, and then we have card and we had cash. So now it's also going to take distinct of the card first, and then begin to approach that. So with the card, what was sold for the coffee name? So we have cappuccino, latte, Americano, and our aggregate function is sum of money. That means the total amount spent is we are viewing that against all this data. So it's going to be sum of money or sum of sales made in context, sum of sales made for your first row, sum of sales made for cappuccino for card payments on the 23rd of May 2024. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now finally on this particular matter, the reason why, sorry, hold on. Okay, so attendance will soon come in. Just be patient. So the reason why, now let's go back to our initial query. The reason why your query is looking like this, unlike what I showed you above, where you see that there's this kind of hierarchy, right? You see cappuccino, latte, Americano, then cappuccino repeated itself again because the cash type changed to cash. It repeated itself again, right? While still maintaining the same day. The reason why this other code, the initial one on this other data set, is different, is not kind of following that rule. Why it's looking different is because the dates and the kind of data we have is not the same ideology I'm painting in the initial example I gave. In this data, it is looking as though one type of product or one type of coffee was sold per day. That's what this data looks like. Because we can notice that on the 23rd of May, 2024, with card, cappuccino was sold. Total was this amount. On the 30th of so now let me do something. Okay, I think I see this is a problem now. Let's change our order by. Let's order it by dates. So we see. Right? Because now we are ordering it by the total money. And that's a wrong approach. So let's order by dates, and we order by dates ascending. So that it takes the earliest dates and not the latest dates. Right? And let's run this code again. So this should correct anything. If our data is very correct, this should correct it.
So what does the order by do exactly?
So order by gives an order in which the records are shown. The order by shows the preference in which these records are returned. Before, our preference was on the total amount of money. That means we said that let the highest money appear first and the least amount appear last. In that hierarchy, every other thing will follow. So that means it's going to adjust, it's going to every other, like for example now, this Americano you are seeing here, that also has the cash type card on this particular date is all tied to this amount, 28.9, right? So if I order by total money, wherever 28.9 would appear, that is where these other ones will appear. Do you get that?
So I didn't get that.
You didn't get that? Okay. If I order, okay, let's look at this data first. Now that I've ordered it by date, right? What do we
Sorry, I
see?
have to see your screen again.
Amazing. Can you see it now? Is it visible to you now? All right. So
it's not. I think they make problem. Don't worry, you can control it.
oh, sorry. So you need to see this because I don't know. But well, you've seen the initial one, So just I guess it's network. Just give it a while because it's the same thing that we're seeing on our screen now. So if you can observe our data sets on our screen, you can see that on 2024 March 1st. You see that I was talking about repetition, distinct dates, right? You can see that from index 0 to index 4 have the same dates. Do you notice? And then it's all cards, right? So in this day, there was no cash payments, right? Now look at index 6 and index 7. Same dates. In fact, index 6, index 5, and index 7, same dates, which is 2nd of March, but you have card and you have cash. Do you get that? Who doesn't understand what I said? Do we understand? Give a thumb up if you understand.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So now you can see that from index 0 to index 4, we have the same dates. And now next, what the query is going to do is that it's going to move to card and start grouping by the cards this time because it has done the first part. So now the next part is by the cash type. So it's going to say, okay, in this day, was there a card payment? Because our data has cash and card. So in this day, was there a card payment? Was there a cash payment? Or there was a card payment only on the 1st of March 2024? Okay, so they show all the card payments. And then it's now going to start highlighting distinctively. So you can see that Americano is here, Americano with milk, latte, hot chocolate, cocoa, and then Americano again. But when you trace the Americano again, you can see that it's on a new date. That's how group by works. So we grouped by date first. We said date priority. Date is the first thing we want to group the aggregates by. It's the aggregate of sum that is bringing all this, that got us to where we are now, right? So this aggregates, we are grouping it first by dates. The next thing we want to group by is the cache type. So it's going to first pick the distinct value in dates for wherever this sum appears in. So it's going to pick that. And then when it does that, next thing it's going to do is, okay, then cache type, was it paid with card? Was it paid with cash? Oh, only card. You show the card, right? Next thing is the coffee name. It's always going to appear with distinct value. Whenever I see repetition like this in your data set, it's because there's a distinct value after it somewhere. And they're trying to show you that it is the same thing. Because it's not going to, because if they left it blank, imagine if you had 2024 March 2001, sorry, what am I saying? 1st of March 2024, right? And then for your index 1, 2, 3, 4, all this place was blank. You could assume that there are null values. That means, and it might bring confusion. So when you are seeing repetitions like this, it doesn't mean that the data is repeated. It's just showing you that it's a distinct value, but they can't leave it blank. So they showed you that. Next thing is the cache type, and then you have your coffees, and then you have the price. The reason why our data was having issue, I think someone was asking, that was Mercy, or why it was having issue before, so just showing up like this, was because I ordered it by the total money. So what, and you were asking what was the difference, like what's the difference of that order by? So what that means is, after I have selected my dates, my cache type, my coffee name, I have aggregated my sum, I have selected the from statement, that's the table in which I am trying to query. I have grouped the data properly. I am now telling my query, I am now determining how, in what order should they show. This ASC you see here means ascending order, means earliest to latest, smallest to largest, little to mighty, right? When you see DESC, descending, it means highest to lowest, latest to earliest, oldest to youngest, newest to oldest. Do you get? That's what descending will mean. It means from top to the bottom. Okay, Tamuno, you have a question?
All right. Good evening. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so sorry, I'm still in Excel actually, but I just tried peeping into Excel and into SQL a little bit. So this distinct, I know that they usually write when you're writing the code in this select part. I know that they usually write distinct sometimes. So this distinct you're talking about, shouldn't it be written?
No. So thank you for your question, Tamno.
Okay.
So when you're writing distinct, what distinct does is I am trying to show distinct value of something. That's what distinct is. It's, I would say, it's a different idea from group by, but that's not necessarily what group by is trying to do. Group by is trying to group and aggregate. An aggregate, example of aggregate would be sum, would be sum, would be average, mean value, max value. Those are aggregates. Counts. I want to count something, right? So that's, now count and sum are different, but I'll explain that maybe in another class. So but those are aggregate function, something that kind of calculates based on counting systems, right? So we are trying to group aggregate functions by other columns. What that means is I have now calculated, because if I just put, according to, I can't remember, I think it's Deborah, when we're trying to do coffee name and sum of money, right? So we said do coffee name and sum of money. What happened? And then we filtered by latte. What happened? Our results showed latte, and then it showed the total amount spent in latte. Totally, every single point where latte existed in our data sets, it calculated all the money together, it added it together. And then we had that value, which was 27,866, if I'm correct, right? So we had that value as the aggregate function, which is sum in this case for latte. Now, what we were trying to do now, which was Shefiat, what she asked was, how come our data is showing only latte? She expected it to show Americano with milk, latte, hot choco, right? And then what we did was that we removed the filter where, so that our query stopped looking at only data that had latte in the coffee name. So instead of looking at only that data that had latte in the coffee name, it now looks at the entire data, because that's what where does. Where is a filter clause? It filters your data. So I'll give an example. If I go to a country and I want to get young people, the estimate of young people, my filter can be filter them by states, filter them by age group, filter them by location, filter them by earnings, filter them by academic qualification. Do you get that? Those are filters. So that's what a where clause does. And there's another filter. I don't should I do that? Okay. Yes, some people will know it. It's called having, right? But having is closely related with group by clause, but let's not go into that now. So so that's what someone's mic is on.
When we were learning how to use the count key.
I think it's yes, okay. So that's what if a filter does, right? It filters your query, it filters the range in which your query runs, right? So the next thing that we did after removing the filter for latte is that we now had a result that showed all the amount spent on each and every coffee. So that's what group by does. That's where I'm coming from. And Tamuno, group by, it addresses things distinctively. It's separate from writing distinct in your what do you call it, in your select statements. That's a different thing, right? So what happens is that when I say select coffee name, we aggregate function sum money as total money, right? And then I go to my group by and I say coffee name. What that means is that I am saying that my query or my result should group the sum of money by each distinct coffee name. So it is going to look for every single name that appears in the coffee, right? And it's going to attach my aggregates to it. So I'm going to give you a very simple example, right? So if we have permit me to use this analogy. If we have 5 okay, let me use this one. If we have 5 Yoruba people, 5 Igbo people, 5 Hausa people, no, 2 Hausa people, 3 Yoruba people, and 1 Igbo person in a room, right? And we say the sum of people in that room. What does our data do? Our data is going to say 3 plus 2 plus 1. And that's going to be what? 6, right? So, but that's not what we're trying to achieve. When we now say group by people type, it's not going to show you Hausa, 2, Igbo, 1, Yoruba, 3. You get terminal?
Yes, I get you. I'm following.
Okay. So meanwhile, in our raw data, what must have been there was maybe Hausa, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. Then you're here in your value, you have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? And then so you have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then next thing that if you just say sum, it's going to add everything together and give you 6, right? But when you say group by, I want to group by the people type. It's now going to look at the people type first. That's what group by does. It's going to group by what you put first. In our own data here, we put dates first. It's going to look at that first and pick the distinct value in it and see how many times our aggregate appeared in each distinct value. But the moment you begin to add other columns to it, it begins to calculate per the columns first to the last, from left to the right. So it's going to do first for dates. Then when you get the distinct for dates, it's now going to look for the distinct of the cache type in your already distinct dates. So we have in our data results here, we have 1st of March 2024. That's a distinct date, right? And it's now going to look for the cache type, which is card on these dates. It's now going to look for the coffee name for this amount, right? But our aggregate has other coffee names here. It has Americano, it has Americano with milk, it has latte, it has coffee. So it's just going to keep doing that. But it is always going to appear in the order by which you placed it in your group by clause. That's how distinct work. Now, to Mercy question, what does order by do? Order by just simply says, this is how I want the result to be arranged. Do I want it to be arranged with the date in focus or with the total amount in focus? For example, I'll give you an example with this, our data that we're using here, right? If I say I want to find out what day we had the highest sales amount, right? All I have to do is that I know that what represents the sales amounts here in this our query is sum, open brackets, money, close brackets, as total money. So total money is the alias that represent that. All I will do is order by total money descending. Remember I said descending is the largest value to the smallest value. Descending, which is what we did initially, which showed us the highest purchase made. Now, this data we are looking at now, you can see, if you look to the money location, you can see that you have 28.9, 136.6, 77.4 is not ordered because this is not the focus of our order by clause. Our focus is dates. We want to order by dates. And our order by dates is ordering by the ascending order, which means the earliest dates to the latest dates. So 2004 to 2005. 2004 is an earlier date. 2005 is a later date. That's ascending order. Descending just means 2005, 2004. Right? So earliest date. So our earliest date in our data set is the 1st of March 2024. In fact, if our timestamp here, which is this T00.000 that is just to the right of the date, if that value itself were different, this entire data will look different because it's always going to pick a distinct value. But that is not the idea of order. Order is just going to arrange it. Okay, 1 comes before 2, and 2 comes before 3, and 3 comes before 4, because we told it to order in an ascending order. If we said descending order is going to show 4, 3, 2, 1. Do we understand? So do we understand, guys? Any question? Okay. Any question? All right, guys. Thank you. Any question thus far? Any question? All right. So we actually had a lot to cover, but I'm more interested in you understanding even the little that we cover, so that there is a good foundation for next classes, right? So you can always reach out to your class captain or TAs for any assistance, any condition or anything, and you are sure to get guided properly. So for those of us that joined in late, before I came into this platform, I'll just use the next 3 minutes to talk about that, is all you have to do is after you sign in, if you're using your system, after you sign into DataCamp, right? You can open on that same stuff, open a new tab and type datacamp.com / same thing as / data lab and press enter. It's going to automatically open data lab and sign you in because you're already signed in on your DataCamp, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't just go to data lab directly. You can always go to data lab directly. You can still just do the same thing. Datacamp.com / data lab. You press enter, but this time around you have to now sign in with the same email details, same login details you have for your DataCamp. So it's same account. And then when you're in, all you can do is come here, click on new workbook. You click on new workbook, you'll see this kind of interface, but it's going to be blank, right? All you have to do is click on add content and then click on SQL. So I'll just show you down here. So you see something like this, add content, right? You might not see it the way this one is showing. You're going to see it like this instead. Yes, add content. And then you see that drop down. It's going to appear. So you just click on SQL, right? When you click on SQL, you're going to click on the data. What's the word for this now? To attach your data to the cell, because all these blocks are called a cell, right? So you click on file, and then you upload your CSV file. When you upload your CSV file, it's not going to automatically be selected. You come back again and click on data source. And then after doing data source, you search for the file name you just uploaded, and it's going to show up. You click select, and then that's all. Right? So thank you so much for your presence this evening, attendance, and I hope that you guys put in the best foot forward. Practice, and you're just going to get better eventually. Whether you understand it initially or not, just keep practicing. At the point, it's just going to sit well with you. So I guess we have filled our attendance for today. Please make sure you do if you've not. Attendance is on the, so that's for attendance. That's on the, hold on. Yes, so it's on the comments, the message. So that's in the message. Yes, so that's all. So if you're there attendance, you can leave the call. Thank you so much. Have a great night's rest. Great week ahead.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tamuno, I can see your question. So for those that are just starting, I think I'll just address that, being that the actual classes are finished, but then some questions still need to be answered. So let me share my screen. Just give me a moment. Let me share you what it looks like and how you should approach it properly so that it follows. Because if you're not careful, what happens is that it's going to take you through an entire new route. If you just go to the course directly, it might take you to the route of data. There's this other course now that is very similar to the data analytics in SQL career track, and you spend so much time doing that, and you think that you're done, and you find out that you're actually only 20% of your actual course and not the one you're doing. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Just give me a moment. Let's this tab load. Okay, while it's loading, I think I can just be talking. So when you go to your dashboard, when you go to learn, right? By the right of your dashboard, you would see on the learn tab or section of your dashboard, you're going to see a part that says courses. My tab is still loading, so I'm just going off here now. So you see a part that says courses, and then you see career track. That's how you should approach it. So you go to career track, and then when you click on career track, the result on your screen is going to change, right, to career tracks rather that exist in DataCamp. Then you select data analysis, and then you see data analysis with SQL. That's the career track you want to start. Because if you go and start the track itself and apply it, the algorithm of DataCamp might refer you to another career track that is not necessarily so far from SQL, but then to leave you spending time in what you're not spending time on doing. I'm just trying to make this. I don't know why my system decided to be very amazing today. Like, wants me to bite ice cream. Yes, we are done, Amarachi. We're done. Tamuno was asking a question. I'm just answering. You can, if you have filled the form and you don't have any questions, you are free to leave the call. We're done already. Done. I'm trying to show Tamunotonye something. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm going to change what I'm sharing. So I'm going to share this one instead. Hold on. This is supposed to be WW, and this is okay. What is my system good today? God, Nazareth. Okay, stop this one. Okay, so trying to be sure if I do anything. So yeah, I want you to see how I'm getting there. I want to just open. Okay, it's visible now. All right. So yes. So you can click on learn here, or you can click on learn here, and so I can choose this one, and one works. All right. So when you click on learn, it's going to open a new interface, and then to your left you see a panel, right? So you click on this drop down rather tracks. So what I meant before was don't click on courses, not tracks. I mean, don't click on courses, right? Click on career track under tracks, career track, right? So when I click on career track, it's going to now open this whole interface here, where you see all the career tracks that are available on DataCamp platform. So for safety, for now, just click on data analyst, right? Data analyst career track. So it's going to filter that to the courses. Now you see this. So you have data analyst, SQL, Python, R, and Databricks, right? So what we want to do is to click on your own end. I think you should show start or view. Okay, view details. You can do that. Just click on view details, or you click on the card itself. And then when that loads up, you now have the courses. So you should start from here, right? I'm only showing switch track because of something else I was doing. That's why I'm telling you that don't take that approach. So you should show something like start track or something like that. Then the first one, you can always click on this drop down and start, right? So because if you go and search introduction to SQL on the search button here, you would see it, but it might not be under this career track. Because what a career track simply is a list of courses, yes, you can see, courses and projects that you must complete for you to be certified that you are equipped for that career path. Do you get? So if you search a course directly on DataCamp, it might take you through another career path that is not data analysis in SQL. That's what I'm trying to emphasize on. Do you get, Tamno? Okay.
All right, thank you very much. I get you. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel. Can you? Okay.
Good evening.
Okay. Good evening. Yes, thank you so much for today. My name is Emmanuel. Yeah. So I have some concern. I don't know if I can reach out to you outside of this call.
All right. You can. What would you prefer, Telegram, WhatsApp?
WhatsApp should be fine. WhatsApp is cool.
Okay, I'm going to drop my WhatsApp number and on the chat box, and
all right.
You can reach out to me.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to add, just in case some people who are not from Nigeria, so I'm going to add a country code to it so that it's easier.
All right.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. I will reach out.
You're welcome. All right.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Have a great night. Okay, guys. So I'm going to take it that we have all filled out the form, and that there are no questions available to be asked. But in any case, if you have any question, my phone number is in the chat, in the in-call messages, and you can reach out to me on WhatsApp. My Telegram number also. So whatever platform is best for you, you can use it. So I'll be off now. Have a great night, like I said, and have a wonderful week ahead. Cheers.